Hello Year 3-4. Now today for Big Read we're going to be looking at a newspaper clipping, and this is about moon landings of 1969. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the text and read it to you at the same time, and then we're going to go through the vocabulary. Okay, let's have a look at that text. Okay, so this is the newspaper clipping that we'll be looking at. It's a page from a newspaper called the NASA News, and it's about the moon landings. And we've got the date in the top corner, 21st of July, 1969. The name of the newspaper, the NASA News, and the headline of the article, One Giant Leap for Mankind. Now, I'm going to read through it. You just need to follow along, okay? History was made yesterday as astronaut Neil Armstrong climbed down the ladder of the lunar module Eagle and became the first man to stand on the moon. This incredible act marks a huge milestone in the history of space exploration. Captivated, 1/5 of the world's population tuned in to watch as Armstrong stepped on the moon. The adventure began on the 16th of July when 3 men left Earth in their space capsule, Apollo 11, thrust into space by its powerful Saturn V rocket. 4 days later, the astronauts arrived at their destination. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, were Armstrong's first words broadcast to Mission Control in Houston, Texas, which is over 384,000 kilometers away. A few seconds later, Armstrong was joined on the surface by Edwin "Buzz" Aldrin. The third member of the crew, Michael Collins, was still in orbit around the moon. While Collins stayed in Apollo 11's command module, Columbia, Armstrong and Aldrin explored the area of the moon where they had landed. Eventually, they proudly put up a US flag with a special wire frame to hold it, as there is no wind on the moon. Then, they collected samples of the rocks found on the moon's surface to take back to a lab on Earth. After completing their tasks, the pair returned to Eagle, lit the engine, and headed to meet with Columbia. The United States have now achieved the first part of President Kennedy's promise to land a man on the moon. Now it is up to NASA to accomplish the second part, to return him safely to Earth. Okay, so that was the text that we've looked at. Now we're going to go through the vocabulary. So the first word was leap. Now, Armstrong says, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Now, to leap is to jump a long way. This man is leaping because he's having to jump a really long way between this rock and this rock. He couldn't make a small jump because he would most certainly fall. So what Armstrong means is that although he's just taken one small step onto the moon, and it's a small step for one man, for the entire human race, it's a gigantic leap in what we're able to do. It's a huge jump in what we were able to do by getting a man on the moon. Okay, so leap means to jump a really long way. Next word is mankind. Again, he says one giant leap for mankind. Now, mankind is just a collective way of talking about the entire human race. Okay, so everyone from around the world, they're referred to as the human race, or occasionally they're referred to as mankind, so everyone around the world. Next word is milestone. Now it's described as a huge milestone that they were able to get a man on the moon. And a milestone is kind of a point in the journey towards something. So the whole point in the space exploration was to learning to explore space. So a big part of that journey to exploring space was getting a man onto the moon. And there were steps before that. It might have been getting a dog into space, getting a man into space. So there are these points on this journey to do something where something happens, okay? So that's a milestone. Next word is exploration. We heard the word space exploration. To explore somewhere is to look at, to investigate something that's never been seen before, an unknown place. The moon had never been seen so closely up, and they explored it. They looked into what's there. This person is exploring the ocean. Okay, they're going around and looking at what's there and what might never have been seen before. Next word is captivated. Now it says captivated, comma, 1/5 of the population were watching. So to be captivated is to be so fascinated by watching something that you almost can't look away. Okay, like when you've been to the cinema to see a film and you're so captivated by it, you can't stop watching. You're so fascinated by it. That's captivated. Population. Now the population is a group of people who live somewhere. So we might talk about the population of Dunkirk or the population of Nottingham, and that's all the people who live in that area. The population of England, of Britain, the population of Europe, the population of the world. Okay, we can look at the population of any area, and it's the people who live in that place. Next word is destination. Now, a destination is somewhere you're going to. So these could be some holiday destinations. We've got the USA, Canada, Australia, France, China, Germany, India, Italy, Japan, Sweden, and Russia. So you could be going on holiday to one of these places, and that could be your destination. It's where you're going to. Okay, so their destination in the lunar module was to go to the moon. That was their destination. And on the way back, their destination was planet Earth. Broadcast. So it said that the video of the moon landing was broadcast to lots of people, and to broadcast means to send out, to transmit a radio or a television show across either a country or a city or the world. Okay, so it's just the sending out of that television show, of that film, so other people can see it. Orbit. Now, orbit is a circular path around a star, a planet, or a moon. So this is a graphic of the orbit of certain planets around the sun, and we can see that circular path. Okay, so here's the Earth doing its circular path around the sun. And then the moon does a circular path around the Earth, okay? So the spaceship, they were in the lunar module, will be circling around the moon. Next word, accomplish. Now, if you accomplish something, you achieve it, okay? You get to success at the end of doing something. So this person has been climbing a mountain and they've got to the top. They've achieved what they wanted to do. They've been successful, so they have accomplished that, okay? Now, those are all of your words for this week. Today's task is to do that bit of vocabulary matching, okay? And to practice reading that text. Tomorrow, there's no video, but tomorrow you're going to be practicing reading the text aloud with fluency, and then Wednesday and Thursday you have some questions to answer about that text. Okay? Good luck.